Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'll be talking about my experience post-op C-section, what I did to help myself to recover faster, as well as some recovery tips. Alright, so as I had spoken about prior, I was not anticipating having a C-section. I did not want one. I was doing everything that I could to avoid having one, but I ended up with one anyway. So going into the experience, there was not really much information that I gathered, which my first tip is, if you're expecting, even if you intend to give birth naturally, please do your research on all of the different methods. Do your research on natural birth, do your research on medicated birth, water birth, C-section, Foley balloon, what's that thing that they use to induce, oxytocin, all of those things. Do all of your research, go into the experience informed, keep an open mind, because anything can happen. Your birth may not go according to plan, and that is fine. We're all different, our bodies are different, and there's absolutely no way that you will be able to predict what will happen. Even if you have previous children, every pregnancy is different, every baby is different. So that's just my spiel. So yeah, I went into the experience uninformed and ended up with a C-section. So the hospital that I was at, they were adamant that they do not help mothers who have had a C-section beyond the first day, because they say that if you want to go home, you need to demonstrate that you will be able to take care of yourself at home. So the first day, I was still catheterized, because they do catheterize you before your surgery. I was still catheterized, still had the urine bag. I got my first sponge bath from the practical nurses with the water and the salve, as I did mention in a previous video. And I got assistance getting up, sitting up, and getting off of my bed. Now, while I was in the hospital, after the first day, we had to move down. I think I mentioned this in my labor and delivery story time. We had to move down on the ward, because the first 3 beds are reserved for mothers just coming in post-op. So after, I think a day or two, I think a day, yeah, it was a day, they had us move down to the other beds that belong to the mothers that got discharged. So I had to pick up my stuff. I think I was like 2 days post-op. I had to pick up my stuff. I could not bend. I had removable sutures. I don't know if that is why I could not bend, but going beyond that was no. That it was not happening. That was not a thing at that time. It wasn't a thing. But I was being hard on myself, and the porters were being hard on me, because clearly they have not been through what we have been through. Because I feel like you would be able to be more empathetic if you did. So we were expected to move our diaper bags, our hospital bags, and our basin all by ourselves further down on the ward. So at this time, could not walk very well, but was walking because I wanted to go home. I did not want to spend more than 3 days in the hospital. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to spend more than 2 days in the hospital, but I did end up having to spend 3 days, which is whatever. Hobbling down to the other bed. Now, it was kind of weird to walk. I had some pain, but it wasn't like consistent pain. They gave us pain medication every single morning and every single night. I do not remember the names of the medication. Well, they gave us Voltaren through the IV, and then after 2 days they gave it to us in tablet form. So yeah, I guess that's why I was really in pain. When I got discharged, they gave me Baralgin, and that was pretty good too. But yeah, the pain wasn't consistent. It was more like uncomfortable, like if you were to press on your incision, move too quickly or anything like that, and I felt pretty unbalanced. This is 2 to 3 days post-op. So I was discharged from the hospital 3 days post-op in the evening, and I was able to, you know, walk myself to the car. Didn't need any help. They were going to offer me any help. So my son was still in the NICU, so for those first 6 days I didn't really have any experience like lifting him and stuff like that. I was pretty much taking it easy when I was at home, because I was at the NICU with him for most of the days. So yeah, my biggest issue after my C-section was my inability to bend. I don't know how many other mothers have that issue, but bending, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't happening. Walking didn't come back normal for me until I think 2 weeks post-op. They don't recommend that you lift anything heavier than your baby for the first 6 weeks, which I really didn't have a problem doing. My son was 7 pounds at birth. I'm not gonna say his exact weight, just know that he was 7 pounds. So that wasn't difficult to do. He slept most of the time too, so I didn't really have any reason to lift him. I should have taken notes. Alright, so cleaning my incision when I was in the hospital, and this is where information conflicts a bit. When I was at the hospital, they gave me a sponge bath with Salvaton and water, and they said that we should not wet the incision until the sutures are out. I know in the States, because I have watched other YouTubers that have had C-sections and listened to the stories of other moms overseas that have had C-sections, and they all said that they were able to take a bath the same day. Not a bath, sorry, a shower the same day. But they told us that we should not wet the incision until the sutures are out. So, you know, that was the information I was working with. I did not wet my incision until the sutures were out. I gave myself a sponge bath with salve, water, and I did use the Dove soap bars that I mentioned in my hygiene video. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and do so. I kept my incision covered, and I got everywhere else, and I did that for a week because I had my sutures removed 8 to 10 days post-op. They also say that you need to come and get your sutures removed before 10 days. So I had actually gotten a referral from the hospital to have my sutures removed 3 days post-op at my local clinic. However, these people are not on the same page. This is Jamaica. It is what it is. I went to the clinic 3 days post-op, and no, I'm sorry, not 3 days. I went to the clinic 5 days post-op, and the nurse that was doing the dressing, she said that it was too early for her to remove my sutures. So all she did was to take the bandage off, dress me, and sent me on my merry way. So I didn't get to have my sutures removed until you know, close to the date, the deadline to get them removed. So like 8 to 10 days post-op, and it didn't hurt to get them removed. When they do your sutures, they put a little knot at the end, and I think mine was on my right side. So the nurse that did my removal and dressing, she just clipped the knot off and pulled the suture out, and it wasn't painful, it didn't sting, it wasn't hot or anything like that. It just felt a little bit but it didn't last long. It was quick and easy. So I guess that's, I don't know how it would have felt if I had got it removed earlier, but I, you know, felt better about the fact that I got it removed than I did, because I felt like if I had gotten it earlier it would have felt different. But yeah, do not go beyond the time that they tell you. Do not go before the time that they tell you. After I had my sutures removed, I was able to bend some more. After a couple of days, I was able to take a shower. I could move a bit faster than I could before. The sensitivity in my C-section scar, I think that went away when my son was around 3 months old. Yes, it went away when he was 3 months old. In a couple of days my son will be 18 months old, so I would be a year and a half post-op. The area is still numb. Hold on a minute. The area is still a little bit numb, like on the scar itself, a little bit above and a little bit underneath. That those places are still numb, but I'm only a year and a half post-op, and they say that it takes between 2 to 5 years to completely recover, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't have any pain in the area. It does get itchy sometimes when I wear tight clothes. That still persists. I don't know how long it does, but I read that it's because of the scar tissue. So what I do to help with that, I apply shea butter, or if I don't have shea butter, I apply Vaseline to the area to keep it moisturized, and I do exfoliate every week, twice a week, to keep the area supple, keep dead skin cells away. If you watch my sugar waxing video, you know that I do wax my pubic area. I do not wax the scar. My incision is a little bit at the top of, alright, like say this is the mons pubis, my C-section scar is here, so it's not at the exact top, it's like right here. So that area, I do not wax it. I don't like the feeling of it pulling the skin. It's completely healed, there are no gaps, there's no pain, it's completely healed, but that is just a thing for me. I don't wax the area, I wax below it, and I will near the actual area, but I don't wax it. So yeah, I think that's it for my C-section experience and recovery tips and things that I did to recover. If you guys have any other questions and things that I didn't touch on, please feel free to leave them below. If you have any opinions, leave them below as well. I am very responsive, especially within the first hour that the video is posted. So yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like and a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.